Hi guys, welcome to the Human and the Machine crypto channel, where we talk to the teams developing some of the hottest and newest services in the DeFi space around the world. This is Hikaru, aka The Machine, a crypto junkie with a golden brain.
And this is my buddy Tlawi T, just a simpleton trying to understand the crazy world of crypto.
Well, yeah, whatever. So, just a quick reminder, guys, for everyone that is looking, if you can please if you like our content, make sure that you like it, share it, or even better, subscribe to our channel. Today, let us introduce the CEO and co-founder of PARSIQ, Tom Tirman. So, Tom, welcome to our channel. How are you doing, buddy?
Hi guys, thanks for having me. I'm great.
Oh, excellent, excellent. So, where are you in the world, Tom?
We're based in Estonia.
Estonia. Wow. Okay. Fantastic. So, okay. So, please tell us a little bit about yourself, your background, how you got yourself into crypto, DeFi, and everything you're doing with PARSIQ, please.
So myself, I have a background in traditional finance and fintech, and
Okay.
I got into crypto relatively late, which was 2017. But I saw the potential. I started researching the blockchain technology and saw how much it disrupts so many industries. And so for me, it was decided that the next thing I want to do in my life is in this industry. And I met my co-founder, Anatoly, who is currently PARSIQ's chief blockchain architect. And we thought that the blockchain data space, that niche is still untapped and has so much potential. So that's when the idea of building PARSIQ started. And most of the PARSIQ team is actually engineers, and they have built a lot of blockchain systems for projects like Civic, Fury. They built backends for exchanges. They always face the same pain points over and over again. Like they had to build some kind of internal solutions which are narrow, not scalable, require lots of resources and development time to bridge blockchains to off-chain systems. And so that's where the idea came to create a platform where anyone could easily build and deploy their workflows between blockchains and centralized apps.
Okay. So you touched a little bit on what PARSIQ is, but could you just imagine you're talking to someone like me, like a 12 years old that doesn't understand much about technology? Could you just make it like so simple that someone like me understands it? And like what problem is PARSIQ resolving, right? What's your value proposition?
Right. So it's not easy to to describe PARSIQ. It's technology is a bit complex. And I think 12-year-olds right now, they are quite advanced and probably know.
Okay, well, you,
Well,
you just made me look worse, man. Six.
well, for those who know at least the core concepts of blockchain,
Hmm.
I would say that you think about smart contracts and how Ethereum created smart contracts and they solve these problems of automation within this blockchain. But the problem is that these decentralized networks they're isolated, they're siloed, and they don't work together with centralized systems and legacy systems, which the rest of the world runs on. And PARSIQ solves that problem. So we connect the blockchain world to the real world, extend the functionality of smart contracts into the real world. I know
Okay, okay.
it's still a bit complex, but I tried.
I think you did a very good job, man. I even me, I got it. So no, no, good job there. So could you tell us a little bit of top use cases that like you have with your clients or partners?
Absolutely. So there are three main categories of use cases right now that clients and users are using PARSIQ for. Number one is infrastructure. So basically, if you think about all these dApps, decentralized apps, the DeFi protocols, the blockchain protocols, they all work at the blockchain level, but they need something that would stream that data, what's happening on these protocols, to any kind of user-facing front end. This is where PARSIQ comes in. So we allow them to easily, without having to develop any kind of complex, non-scalable things in-house, to just with a few lines of code to connect their protocols to user-facing front end. And the second use case is for centralized cryptocurrency service providers like exchanges, wallets, custodians, OTC desks. So they use PARSIQ to automate a variety of internal business processes. For example, monitor transactions, to automate compliance workflows, for ML screening, to automate accounting, reconciliation, financial reporting, deposits processing, really anything. And the third segment is traders, both individual traders and hedge funds, trading desks. They utilize PARSIQ to monitor for things, for events like whale transfers, like deposits to exchanges, like monitoring Uniswap buy spikes, sell spikes, liquidity pools, to be able to have an edge while trading, like front run, to build arbitrage bots using PARSIQ and so on.
Okay, got it. Sounds good. Machine, you have any questions, buddy?
Yeah, I do. So based on those many use cases, right? Which one do you see are like the most popular, or most in demand by now by your industry clients or partners or even users?
Good question, because we are actually discovering new use cases all the time. And I think most of them have not yet even been discovered. Despite the fact that we have already like over 40,000 registered users or 50 corporate clients who use it for different purposes, I think there's a lot more potential here, and we're yet to discover the really game-changing, the winning use cases. With still, right now we're focusing on infrastructure more, but I think the real opportunity for PARSIQ is already seeing traditional enterprises start playing with blockchain, starting to utilize it as the underlying technology. And this is I think where PARSIQ's real market opportunity is, because they will all need a solution that seamlessly, without friction, allow them to connect these centralized networks to their legacy systems, to bridge, like a glue. So it's a middleware infrastructure is probably the most best description of the popular use case.
Okay. One question you mentioned, connecting the blockchain to off-chain infrastructure. So can you kind of elaborate, for example, like I heard Google Sheets, right? Um, what does that mean, and how does it benefit someone who needs to, I would say, take the raw data from the blockchain and put it onto Google Sheets? Like, can you give us an example?
Well, the idea is that since our platform allows users to monitor any events across different blockchains in real time and at scale, and we allow additional logic on how they want this data processed, so that the data would come out in a transformed, valuable way according to the user's logic to trigger something outside of the blockchain. Like, for example, it can flow into Google spreadsheets in real time, create rows, columns that you can later use for transaction tracking, for accounting, bookkeeping. Really, the use case is up to the user.
Got it. Yeah, for people like my buddy Tlawi, I'm really not the best at math, right? Let's just say he's a very simple-minded guy. Will he need to know like coding, or will it be more like click-based, or how is like the user experience with your platform?
We have different levels of accessibility. We have programming language for developers. It's our own programming language designed to process live streams of blockchain events. and developers can easily and flexibly script their what we call smart triggers. Smart triggers are representations of these blockchain to off-chain workflows. Basically, think of them as on-chain to off-chain smart contracts, and they can easily script with a few lines of code these triggers. But for no coders and people who do not have any developer experience, we have visual editors, we have templates and wizards that allows pretty much everyone to create a trigger.
Awesome. Yeah. Is that something I can like? Is that a free account or is this a paid account? How does it work for me?
So right now we have different plans. We have free plan, which has certain limitations on the number of triggers and the number of actions you can perform, but you can still utilize it for free. And we have paid plans for heavier users, but in the future, actually, it will all be free. All you'll be required to do is hold the PARSIQ token to get access to any plan.
Nice, very nice. So, are there any other people trying to resolve what you're trying to resolve? And if so, how do you differentiate yourself from others?
So there are projects and companies doing parts, bits and pieces of what we're doing, but not the whole thing, not in a way that we're doing. Obviously, there are a lot of data companies. There are companies that allow you to, that index blockchain data and allow you to query it. There are analytics companies. But we are different in the sense that, first of all, we process events. We don't treat blockchains as a store of historical data. We treat them as live events we can notify of at any point, including the one block confirmation level, so before it's even confirmed in the next block, or at the mempool level. So that gives a certain advantage to users. They will be the first to know of something happening on the chain. Secondly, we allow a level of programmability, scriptability, where you can describe exactly how you want that data processed. You want to run any computations on it, calculate turnovers, calculate averages, enrich it with other data sets, all on the fly. And finally, we have direct integrations with centralized applications like Telegram, like Google Spreadsheets. We will add WeChat, Twitter, Slack, who knows, maybe in the future, Shopify, and systems like those, which allow you to stream that data or trigger some kind of actions directly. And this is something that no one else is doing, especially not in a scalable way, because we allow you to monitor even millions of addresses that produce tens of millions of events without losing any data.
Okay. Look, I'm going to ask you this question. I do actually get what you talk about because I've been involved in this, right? In this space. But for the average person, again, can you just give me one case that a simple person can or will benefit from your industry? Because you mentioned things that everyone can relate, like Telegram or maybe WeChat or whatever. But you talk a lot of things that I can relate, but in reality, can you just give me one or two cases that people say, oh, that's what he means? That's how it all connects.
Yeah, and then I'd like to add on, let's focus on, say, for crypto traders, because I think that's what a lot of us are interested in.
Right.
So, can you give us an example of benefits and how it works for traders?
Right. Well, for traders, I guess the most simple example is trader is has a certain digital asset, a token, um, some asset, and that the trader can set up alerts that if someone moves a large amount of that asset, just moves it or moves it to an exchange wallet or any other relevant place that might help them, let's say, prevent or get an edge by making trading decisions. So maybe a sell-off is about to commence. So they can make relevant decisions on what to do, whether to sell or purchase more of their assets based on real-time on-chain activity, based on whale movement.
Got it. Yeah, that actually reminds me of not just for individual traders, but hedge funds can benefit from that as well because they're constantly like analyzing data, and there's nothing as more I would say true as on-chain data. So, do you have any hedge fund partners, for example, or what kind of partners do you have that are particularly in like the crypto trading use case realm?
We're working with market making companies for that use case. We are onboarding one crypto hedge fund right now. I cannot say the name yet because
It's fine.
the announcement is yet to come. But indeed, it's not only for individual traders; it's for institutions as well. And more advanced users can not only get this, say, valuable data or alert in real time, they can also program some kind of actions based on it. So if, for example, someone moves a large amount of an asset to Binance, then sell automatically, execute a trade order and sell my asset.
Got it. Okay. In terms of announcements, right? I believe PARSIQ recently made an announcement with their new IQ protocol, and that's related to DeFi, if I'm not correct. But can you kind of walk us through what that is and how that's unique from all of the DeFi stuff currently going on?
Right. So it's a new product by Team PARSIQ, and it's an open source, decentralized finance protocol. So a DeFi protocol. It's a standalone product that we as PARSIQ will be using for our tokens, for our tokenomics, and a lot of other projects will be utilizing it as well. And the idea is that it's the first risk-free, collateral-less lending protocol in the industry, and it allows you to decentralize subscriptions. So I think if tokens are decentralized money, then the protocol gives you decentralized subscription. So when you want to subscribe to some service for an amount of time, so it provides value over time. Think about anything really, software subscriptions like PARSIQ. PARSIQ has subscription plans for users, or newsletter subscriptions, Netflix subscriptions. Basically, it allows you to it allows the users to borrow expirable versions of tokens, and they cannot spend them. That's why it's risk-free and requires no collateral. And the tokens give you access to a certain feature or service or subscription of a company.
Hmm.
I see. So you said a PARSIQ will be using this. Is that assuming that it's like open source or available for others to use?
Yeah, since it's open source, so anyone can use it for their own tokens or for any other assets or for any other products. So it's a bit of like public good. But PARSIQ will be its first user, will be the first utilizing our IQ protocol. And as I mentioned before, we will implement a model where you have to hold PARSIQ tokens to get access to PARSIQ services. So think about if you want to monitor 1,000 addresses, you'll need to hold 1,000 PARSIQ tokens. So that's you don't need to spend them, you don't need to lock them. Just holding them makes you eligible for that usage of the platform. But there are two problems. Problem number one is not it doesn't make sense for every company to purchase a large amount of PARSIQ tokens from the market and expose themselves to a volatile asset on their balance sheet. So, and the other problem is that when traditional enterprises come in, they don't want any friction with dealing with tokens at all. And this is where IQ protocol comes in. You don't have to purchase PRQ from the market, the PARSIQ token. They can pay a fee to the IQ protocol to borrow expirable versions of PARSIQ token. And from their perspective, it looks just like they're paying a subscription fee to use the software. But under the hood, we actually borrow expirable versions of PARSIQ tokens, and the lenders, the liquidity providers who put the tokens in can earn passive income. So it creates a circular economy around our software subscription model.
Got it. Yeah, it seems like a very well thought out, protocol. I'm still trying to grasp everything, but it just reminded me of how when we shifted from, say pay per unit model to like a monthly subscription,
Mm.
that changed the game for like almost all kinds of internet companies. So do you foresee this IQ protocol to be like the next generation of online subscription systems for companies?
Yes, well, I do believe that on-chain subscription is like the future of all SaaS, software as a service, but not only. So a lot of the digital companies who are using subscription models, they will in time be migrating to the on-chain subscription model. And IQ protocol helps you build like an economy around that model and removes the friction from for users who don't want the hassle of finding where to buy the token to get access to something.
Mm.
Got it. Got it. Okay. Yeah, and just to shift topics, right? Earlier you mentioned a PRP token. I think we got one example of how it's used in IQ protocol. Now, my buddy is always just excited to know what else it can be used for, right? What's the
Yeah.
utility? So yeah, do you want to ask some questions about that?
Oh, nothing comes to my mind.
Yeah.
That's a problem.
Well,
But
then can you
I'm sure
explain
you
to
have.
us,
Yes, please.
yeah, what are the utilities and how else is PRQ used in your
Yeah.
ecosystem?
Well, it can be used as payment for the PARSIQ services, which guarantees a discounted rate. But more importantly, it gives you eligibility for the PARSIQ platform services. So you simply hold the token, you can use the platform for free. There are no fees, nothing. So by holding it, you get access to the platform. And for other people, the community members, the token holders, they can actually put it into the IQ protocol to lend it out in a risk-free manner and earn daily variable interest from earn passive income on the token.
Understood. Okay, yeah, sounds pretty robust. Um, the community always comes to us, right? And they always ask about where is the project going? What are the upcoming announcements when listing, right? So, what are some upcoming announcements or perhaps news that you can share with the community?
I don't think I can give much up,
Give us hints.
but I think that this quarter will be full of big milestones. So not only we have the launch of the new tokenomics model, not only we have the launch of the IQ protocol mainnet will allow, it will create demand for the token that's correlated to the demand for the PARSIQ services, and it will allow users to earn passive income by lending out tokens into the IQ protocol lending pool, which to all creates high pressure as long as there is demand for the services. So this as long as there is demand for the platform, the token price appreciation is tied to that. So this is a major milestone because up until now, the utility of the token has been very limited. And this gives the token a whole new set of utility features. Uh, there are other things coming. One of them, from a product perspective, is the launch of public projects, what we call. And this basically means that anyone who creates a smart trigger on the PARSIQ platform can put it on a public marketplace, and others will be able to subscribe to it. So this also creates incentive for developers and non-developers to build interesting use cases on PARSIQ. And we will be doing hackathons and competitions and contests for the most creative smart trigger.
Cool. Hey,
Uh,
Tom, now that you're talking about this, we have quite number of viewers in China. So can you tell us a little bit about your thoughts in China, crypto, the community you have there? What are your thoughts about it? How engaged are they? Are they with your project?
Well, obviously, China has one of the most active crypto communities in all of the world, and our presence isn't huge in China yet, but we are working on expanding that. We relatively recently starting our marketing in China. We localized the website. We created. I have done actually a number of AMAs, Ask Me Anything sessions, and in Chinese media. But we will definitely be ramping this up because we China is an important part of our expansion plan, and want to, as a next step, we also want to have Chinese users to try the platform, which means we have to localize the portal. We have to add support in Chinese, and we'll have to add the integration of WeChat, of course, so that users will be able to get their blockchain data directly to their WeChat messengers. So we have big plans for China.
So you have it all covered, right? It's just in the pipeline.
It's in the pipeline. We're working on it.
Cool, man. Do you have any final thoughts, comments, anything you want to talk about project to tell your community, just to wrap up this really, really cool conversation?
Well, this I think this for PARSIQ, this will be a really landmark year. Very much exciting stuff going on behind the scenes that I'm not allowed to talk about yet. I would like to, but I can't yet. Very excited, and hopefully the community will be as well. We're ready to release this news. I really think this will be a huge year for PARSIQ, and I want to thank the community for supporting us.
That's really cool, man. And of course, we know that there's a lot of things that in the DeFi space you cannot talk until it's signed and it's done, right? So, but we would be super happy to have you again anytime you feel like it's the right time to make announcements. When you already reached the milestones you were talking about, it would be awesome if we can just follow up every, I don't know, 3 months, 6 months, even a year, because we don't want to be the guys that are just like, okay, tell me what's new, and then we don't know what happened. I think we want to really follow up, and we really want to keep the community updated about every project that it's worth listening about, right? So if you take our word, then it would be awesome to talk with you again, man.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it, and would love to share our progress updates with you. And for
Awesome,
sure.
man. Anything else, Hikaru?
No, I think that's all. So there we have it, PARSIQ.
Tom? Thank you very much, Tom, and we hope to see you soon. And the best of lucks, man. Like it really sounds great. So we are sure you're going to do fine. You're doing fine. Your project is super successful already. So just keep it up, man. Keep up the awesome work you're doing, man.
Thank you. We'll do our best.
Okay. Thanks a lot, Tom. Have a good one.
Yeah. Thank you.
Bye
Bye.
bye, mate. See ya. Bye.
Bye.
What do you think, bro? Cool, huh?
Yeah, so overall, I think as an infrastructure project,
Mm.
lots and lots of potential.
Mm.
I've heard lots of great features and products in the pipeline, some
Yeah.
of which are already out. So honestly speaking, very excited to learn more.
Yeah.
Definitely lots and lots of content there. So yeah, what were your thoughts?
Well, it is complex. To be honest, it is complex. Like I understand some of well, a lot of the stuff he talks, but it's really difficult to round it up, right? To understand it, to make in the mind of a layman person, right? Like a real idea of it. So that's all I can say, right? Like you ask me something, I'm like, I don't know, right?
Yeah.
Like, so today you earned the right to call me
Well, I
like
would have to
a
beat that idea
simple.
to your head
Yeah.
later on.
No, but of course, I mean, he's really cool, right? But he is very technical, of course, man. I mean, you don't get into this because you like playing the piano, right? Or,
Yeah.
but of course, it sounds really good, and I know they're already very successful too. So it's really good to see that they're following up and they have great ideas, you know, like they're not just copying, right? A lot of people jump into this space and they just put everything in a slightly different way and they call it something new and innovative. But I see, and I think this is what differentiate our channel from other channels, right? Like we're not just looking for anyone, but we are actually making sure that what we bring to our viewership is something that is worth listening about.
Exactly. And for these types of projects, again, they're like an infrastructure layer, right?
Yeah.
And they already have traction. They already have very solid partnerships with notable names in the industry. So I think honestly, just after some time, right, they will have more products, more users. And from there, we will be able to really see, you know, what are the use cases, right? Whether it's like blockchain monitoring. We also talked about IQ protocol,
Yeah.
Even for traders. So yeah, definitely would love to follow up with this project in a few months.
Yeah, yeah. I like when he says like, you know what, we haven't even scratched the surface. We don't even know exactly where it's going because and that is the sign of a very solid product, I believe, because he knows that it's so wide. It's just going to take time for people to be creative and use the platform, right? So it means that he knows how powerful PARSIQ is.
Yeah, absolutely. I definitely would have to agree.
Right. So, well, bro,
Yeah.
you earned the right to call me simpleton today because I failed on one miserably.
Yeah.
So thank you very much, guys. Again, like it, share it, and if you can, subscribe and just tell everyone about it and give us your feedback. It's important for us to know what is the kind of questions we would you guys would like to ask, right? Like what would interest you. So we can enrich the channel and make it a lot better just for you guys. Thank you very much. This is the machine, Hikaru, and today he proved that he has a golden brain. And
this is Tlawi. Lots to learn, but still bright as always.
See you guys. Take care. Have a good one.
See you next time.
Bye.